This video demonstrates two ways to install the migration operator. The first will be using OLM and the operator hub on OpenShift 4, and then the other, which works on OpenShift 4 or OpenShift 3, will be just creating the CRs and resources in order to get the operator and then the actual controllers. So we'll start with the first method. All we have to do is do an OC create to create the source for OLM. So we'll go ahead and do that. On the left I have OpenShift 3 and on the right I have OpenShift 4. So we'll create this source, and this will take a few minutes, so we'll move on to the OpenShift 4, or the OpenShift 3 side rather. So here we're going to start just by creating the operator, and that's fairly easy. We do the same thing. That creates a bunch of resources, and you can see the operator is starting here on the OpenShift 3 side. The next thing we'll need to do over here is edit the controller.yaml. So we'll take this guy. And we have a few different options here. Generally right now we expect to run in the MIG namespace, so don't change this. If you don't install the controller, the cluster name doesn't really matter, and generally we recommend to install the controller and the UI on OpenShift 4 just because we can do some additional setup that saves a few steps. So here I'm going to change the controller and the UI to false. And the only thing that will get installed here is Valero. Valero is required on any cluster you intend to use as a source or destination. So from there we just do create-f controller. And in a moment we should see additional pods getting created over here. If we want to look and see what's going on, we can do an OC logs on this guy. And this is an Ansible operator, so you'll see a lot of references probably to Ansible in here. But at this point, it looks like it's completed running, and we have the Valero and Restic pods running. So we'll move back to the OpenShift 4 side. We should have the migration operator and the operator hub by now. So going back to OpenShift 4, we have operator hub. We'll refresh. And if we move down through the list, here we are, migration operator. So we'll just click on it and click install. Nope, we may have to create the namespace first. So go ahead and do that. There we go. And we will subscribe. This will take a moment. Just take about 30 seconds. We may see it installing, or it may just pop to installed. It's relatively quick. Alright, so here we have it finally installed. You'll see that we have a list of CRDs that have been created. All we really need to do is go ahead and create the migration controller. So we click create new. These options are pretty much set to go for OpenShift 4, so we create. And within a moment, there we go. We start seeing, well, we've got the migration operator, and we should start seeing additional pods showing up in a moment. There we go. So here on OpenShift 4, we have a 3-node cluster, so we will see a Restic pod for each worker node since it's a daemon set. We get the UI, Valero, and the controller. Once the UI is up, I'll show you the interface. There we go, so the UI pod is up. And the UI is running. So from here, you can take the additional steps to set up the source cluster, the repository where backups will be created, and create plans to migrate applications from OpenShift 3 to OpenShift